a bit of time now being chased. Plants throws. He's looking downfield. He's got a receiver, and it is caught. Jimmy Smith at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. He beats Wayne Starks for 45 yards.
Barks out for signals, drops to throw, has time, fires the slant. Jimmy's got it this time, 35, 30, middle of the field, 20. He's going to the 20-yard line. He's going to score. 10, 5, Jimmy Smith, touchdown. And the Jaguars are right back in this ball game. Barks out the signals, pressure coming, steps up, turns, throws. He's got Jimmy, first down, 20. There he goes, 10, 5, touchdown, win. Jacksonville. Done under pressure, steps to avoid, turns and throws. He's got him in, caught Jimmy inside the 40-yard line to the 37 and down to the 36.
Congratulations to Jimmy Smith. That is now his 800th career reception, and what a play to get it on.
This team winning right now, it helps bring so much attention to our franchise, what we did back in the day, like we were talking about, these Hall of Fame conversations. But when we're winning, we see the conversations pick up. So we have noticed that. So obviously, I'm pulling for my team to get to this Super Bowl.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, we're all rooting for the Jaguars to get to the Super Bowl, just not this Super Bowl, unless you want to go as a visitor. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in to Jaguars Today on this Thursday. Mike DeRocco is here with us from ESPN fame. Good morning, D-Rock.
Good morning. How is everyone today?
Full.
Good, good.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
Appreciate you picking bad players last week.
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
really.
Breakfast Bowl.
Yeah.
Shout out Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan, Jaden Reed. That, historic first in the Breakfast Bowl.
0 points, and he actually played the whole game.
Yep. Never happened in Breakfast Bowl history.
Not that we can recall.
No, it happened to me the week before.
You had 0 points?
Disley.
But he
gave
got
me
hurt.
zero.
Yeah.
He left in the second
this
quarter.
guy completely healthy, played the whole game, no pregame injury, no appendectomy, no flu.
Yeah.
Just I don't think we've never, well, I know we've never had a
almost
running
had it
back
twice
or
last week
receiver.
because Jonnu Smith,
He threatened it.
he had 0 through
OT
regulation.
stats don't count. Didn't we?
Oh, they count double. They count
Didn't
double.
we rule that, Tony? In year 3.
We call
Don't
that
you
winning
remember?
time,
Don't
D-Rock.
somebody remembers that. I know. If there's
You seem to, but no one else.
If there's a listener who remembers that, just go ahead and hit us up on Twitter and let us know
Winning time.
that we made that rule.
That's what that is. All right, the Breakfast Bowl next hour. All right, we'll get to that. We like to set the table a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta
10
talk
to
about
6.
a win.
10-6, baby. Come on now. Jaguars getting ready to go on a roll to end this season, much to the delight of all the Draftnik fans out there.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, it is what I don't blame them. I think it's a legitimate way to feel if that's, if your team's
get it.
out of it. And I also respect the people who say I'm always going to root for my team to win. It's fine.
Yeah, neither of them are wrong.
Neither of them impact the outcome one way or the other. Right. So I don't think there's this collective unconscious that's willing the Jaguars on one way or the other and that it has any bearing on anything. But D-Rock, you were around the team a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
So what does a win do for the attitude, demeanor, and outlook for this group?
Yeah, they weren't doing cartwheels and, yay, none of that. I mean, in the post-game locker room, you could just feel a difference in the atmosphere. It was, finally, there was some positivity in there, some hope, I guess. And I still felt that yesterday in the locker room a little bit. Hey, look, nice to have some positivity to work this week through. It's always better. These guys are saying it's always better to correct mistakes when you've won a game. And they're looking at this stretch. The next games, I get it. They're not good. The Jags aren't very good.
Neither are the teams that are playing.
Yeah, this next stretch, they got a chance. If the offense can somehow find a way to be functional in the first half of these games, but they've got a chance to go on a little mini run. You know what I mean? And try and build, unlike the way last year ended with some negative momentum, try and build some positive momentum going into the offseason and then see where everything shakes out.
That's, from their point of view, and that's all they can possibly do. Doug Peterson has talked about his burning desire. I want to win all these games down the stretch. I've been told that Doug Peterson very much wants to return as the head coach of the Jaguars.
Yeah.
You know, and because we say, like, of course, but there's a decent segment of the fan base out there, Tony, that we hear from that thinks
all he wants to do is go fishing.
Yeah, collect his money and, just ride off into the sunset. I mean, for some people, that's what they think. And you know what? I would imagine some coaches get to that point where they're like, you know, man, I don't need this anymore.
Well, and it explains, for some of the fans out there who just broker none of this, right? Like, it doesn't matter what Doug says. He can't have any impact. Nothing positive is going to happen with Doug because all he wants to do is go fishing. So whatever he says, that's what's in their head. This guy's checked out. I'm checked out on him. And I don't know how you convince people who think that about any of this that they're wrong. They're going to have that opinion until something happens or nothing happens, and they're like, oh, okay. Right? Like, we all know it's going to end one of those two ways. There's nothing you can say to convince them to change their minds at this point.
They're like flat earthers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Proof that it's not flat, Mike.
Well, and we've seen a number of examples of this kind of stuff. Trevor won't come back unless Shad Khan fires everybody on the bye week. Heard that from tons of people. Trevor's making a power play. That injury's not that bad. He's shutting it down because he wants to try to get these guys out of here right now, and he's using his leverage. I mean,
that's what you want him to do.
Which flies in the face of everything that Trevor Lawrence has ever presented himself to be, quite frankly. Right? I mean, it really does. Anyway, I don't think we need to belabor all that much, D-Rock. But I'll belabor this because this really struck me, and we've talked about it for a couple of days here. The comments after the game, Doug Peterson saying, we had to adjust at halftime and literally used the phrase, change the game plan.
I know.
To get the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. and then kind of tries to be all, I guess that, these people think that we should have been doing this all along. I guess they're smarter than us. In that regard, knowing you need to get the ball to Brian, if you're telling me you don't know that,
they know that. I think what he was saying, and what he was saying is instead of let's run the play and whoever's open gets it, and we're not going to specifically make it a point that this play has to be the ball has to go X. And that's, I think, what they did more of. That is what they did more of in that second half.
Right, which is something they should have been doing for a long time.
Not going to argue that at all.
And I think plenty of people, look, just because, they're coaches, they know a lot more than you do. I guarantee you there are a lot of coaches that would have done it completely different than these coaches did. So just because they're coaches doesn't make them right about it. Clearly, you got to. The Cincinnati Bengals threw the ball to Jamar Chase 18 times on Monday Night Football and talked about afterwards how they missed some opportunities to get him the football. He caught 14 passes for nearly 200 yards. You know what? That's how you treat your star receiver. I'm not saying he's Jamar Chase, but he's your version of it. He's the best you have. Mac Jones acknowledged that after the game.
Look, they all talk about it's players, not plays. Okay, great. Well, then
get it to your players.
Get it to your players. There's no reason that he should not have targets until the second quarter or a touch until the second quarter. There's no reason, what was it, against Minnesota, that his first target doesn't come until the end of the third quarter. It's like, what the heck are you doing? You got to get the ball to the – same thing with Evan Ingram. If at the end of this game this week, those guys should probably each have 10 targets or more, 10 or more targets in this game. Like, they're your two best players on the field. I guess you should probably make that a priority, right? Get those guys the football. That's really the only chance the offense has of being functional. And look, is it not? You look at the two scoring drives the Jags had. Brian Thomas Jr. touched the ball on both drives. The other drives in the game, when they didn't score, he didn't touch the ball.
Right.
So, I'm not a genius, but I can figure that out a little bit.
What'd you make of the running game this week? Completely, there was no running game in the first half, right? Bigsby had 6 carries for 4 yards, and Etienne only ran it one time. They stayed with it, though, to a degree, and it wasn't spectacular, but it was serviceable in the second half.
No, and look, at one point, I think it was 4 consecutive plays that Brian Thomas touched the ball. And then the very next play was a run that I think went for like 8 or 9. That's what getting the ball to Brian Thomas does for your run game. And the play action works off of that as well, too, to a degree. But it opens things up a little bit more. Now they're all concerned about what are they, Brian Thomas Jr., they're not a good run team. They're just not. And that's the interior of the offensive line is not played well in the run game. And, you had Cole Van Lanen on the right side there last week for an ill Anton Harrison, who played okay. He played all right. But we all know that the offensive line is a major issue with this team. And
when you say that, is it in pass protection?
They're an average line in pass protection. Now, and I will say this, that's a pretty good defensive front that they were going up against. Jeffrey Simmons is like a beast.
And Tavondre Sweat weighs like 360.
Yeah, I mean, that is not, you're not going to run for 140 against that team. And, they didn't run the ball great against the Eagles either, but that's a pretty darn good defensive front. You know what I mean? And they're going to face a pretty good defensive front this week as well. So some of that plays into it. But I do think if you get the playmakers the ball on the edge, now you change the defense's focus a little bit, and that can open some things up there.
I think it speaks to how little of an identity the Jaguars have. Like, I don't think there's some solid plan week to week of this is who we are, this is what we're going to do to, force our will upon an opponent this week. I think every week it's, we'll try, this because we think this is the matchup that may work for us, as opposed to, look, this is what we do, right?
Well,
so this is
their
what we
identity
need to do.
Can't be a physical smash mouth.
They're not built for
They're
that.
not built for that.
They're way more built for Brian Thomas Jr. is our best player on that side of the ball. Let's get him involved early and often and see what that might open up for us in the run game at some point in the game. But it feels clear to everyone but the people inside that building that should be the path they try at some point. It just hasn't happened yet.
Well, and here's the thing. Regardless of who's in charge next year, it's probably going to be the same issue because you're running 4 of the 5 starters back next year. You Walker Little's under contract.
Both tackles.
Ezra Cleveland's under contract. Yep. Mitch Morse is your only option at center.
At the moment.
And then Anton's coming back. So you just got to, even if it's a new regime or whatever, you got to figure out who's playing right guard. But that's your offensive line next year.
Well, speaking of who's playing right guard, it's a pretty popular answer today in our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. It's the opposite of yesterday. We asked you about defense yesterday, although some people said offensive line as the most pressing defensive need.
That wasn't a question.
Correct, Mike. One of the responses I got to today's question, which asked which of these positions will be the biggest area of need on offense for the Jaguars, somebody replied cornerback/safety. So there's that as well. But the options we gave you in the poll today are center. Because, look, even though Mitch Morse is there, he's only under contract for 1 more year. It's probably a priority to find your center of the future. Is it guard? Obviously, could move it on there at the right guard position. I think a lot of us expect that to be the case. I think a lot of us wouldn't have been shocked had they done it this year, right? Quite frankly.
Should have done it this year.
And is it wide receiver? And you think immediately, well, we got you brought in Gabe Davis to be a starter. He's a non-impactful player, right? Christian Kirk is still under contract, but do you need that other big-time player opposite Brian Thomas Jr. to fully, kind of flesh out the weapons on this offense? Or is it something else? We couldn't decide on what the most likely other one would be. D-Rock mentioned tight end. I thought nobody's going to vote for that, even though there are only 2 under contract. You could go running back. And I don't know how many people would vote for that because you've got Etienne and Bigsby under contract, although Etienne's only here for another year. I'm sure some would go at another position in the offensive backfield.
I was like, you could put that and just watch the world burn.
No, I was not going to put it in the poll. Didn't want to deal with all the nasty replies that I was going to get. But regardless, if it's something other than center, guard, wide receiver, you can reply. Just click that and just tell us in a reply what position you think that is that represents the biggest offensive need. We'll look back at yesterday's poll with Mike DiRocco as well. And look, we got an ESPN mock draft, baby. Woohoo! From the finest 4-letter media outlet there is out there. the former Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. Field Yates put one out there, so we'll take a peek at that coming up as well, and we'll take your calls if you want to get in. Talk Jaguar football at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hop into the YouTube virtual studio chat. Are we up and running on YouTube today there, Coach Denmark?
I guess. I ain't checked yet. Let me get back to
What
you.
an enthusiastic guy this guy is to lead the charge here in the early morning.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I'm going to assume
Oh, yeah,
we're
up.
up. We're up. We're good.
We streaming.
There we go. We are streaming,
We're on the World Wide
baby.
Web.
There you go. Fantastic. www.youtube.com. All right, go check it out over there. Or you can hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at ESPN Duraco, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Dylan, don't call me Pockets Denmark. All right, we're working on it. I'm working on getting it out of the lexicon. All right, Jaguars Today, off and rolling. Breakfast Bowl coming up in a little over an hour from now. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180. Want to call a timeout and give those guys a little bit of a shout-out for their 10-year anniversary. Their founder, Paige, developed a long-term solution for weight loss a decade ago that can work for anyone, including myself, Hacker, Matt Hayes, plenty of people I know in Jacksonville that have tried it. Everybody's had success. Paige and Awaken 180 cut through the misconceptions of lose weight, quick gadgets, fad diets, and medications, completely revolutionizing the weight loss industry because they get real results and, most importantly, lasting results. That's right. Free support for life was and still is the backbone of the Awaken 180 program. And 10 years later, over 23,000 clients have lost a combined 750,000 pounds. You could be next. You could help eliminate the need for cholesterol medication, blood pressure medication, some cases even type 2 diabetes medications. You want to be the next Awaken 180 success story? All you have to do is go online to awaken180weightloss.com and schedule a free consultation. Change your life with Awaken 180.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Oh, yeah, the injured hamstring.
All it takes to spoil the dream is the tweak of a hamstring.
Boy, this is bad news.
Listen for the Farah and Farah injury update.
On 1010XL, Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Imagine driving a late model car of your dreams at a fraction of the original sticker price. For the very best in low mileage cars in Jacksonville, visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom. All luxury cars are serviced and inspected, many with a certified warranty. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
My Gate Rewards members, now through January 2nd, you'll get an entry for your chance to win free gas for a year each time you buy 5 eligible Monster Club products. Not a rewards member? Download the Gate app today. See store for details.
We could call them helmets and cleats, but they don't wear cleats.
Those shoes are hot.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
You think you could join us? Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here for Big Chief Tire. If you're looking for new tires, Big Chief has affordable options to fit every budget and every vehicle. Their team of experts will help you find the right tires and make sure they're installed quickly so you can get back on the road. Don't wait. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and explore their great tire deals. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Rick Lou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Icebreakers Bar and Grill in the Community First Igloo is the coolest place in town for lunch and dinner. Watch the game with a wide selection of local beers, cocktails, wings, burgers, ribs, and more. Enjoy with family and friends at Emerson and I-95.
Discover luxury storage life at The Shed, opening soon in Atlanta Beach, for a place to store your cars, boats, and toys. A place for an office, a golf simulator, or a man cave. AC and plumbing available. The list of premium uses is endless. Take a tour on Instagram or go to theshedjacks.com.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners, do you need bathroom partitions and accessories? Frank Frangie here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. Coyle & Sons will design it for you. Call them today at 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
No one just discovered this one.
Found out last night.
It's on the top of his... Would it be a Spotify playlist? I had no idea what people do with Spotify. Is that would be at the top of your Spotify playlist?
No, but it would be.
No, but that would be like a phrase that would be a proper usage of the phrase, potentially.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. We were just talking about that on the break. I hate that. You son of a gun.
Ludicrous.
Hey-oh, set that up pretty well.
Yeah, you did. You did. Each and every time, D-Rock. Each and every
time.
And all times.
What a lackadaisical approach. You have.
See, I don't understand. You just don't like people using that word, I think.
No, I love the word. I just don't.
You think it's overused?
No, well, like I was telling you guys, there was a guy back at the day at Florida that would use it like every other interview. And I'm like, that's an impact word. Lackadaisical is an impact word.
Maybe there was a lot of lackadaisical effort being given back in that day.
Lackadaisicalness?
Lackadaisiality. And then whatever. I don't know. Do you guys think that, or what do you think about, I don't want to box you into a corner here, on Bill Belichick going to UNC, right? Did the Jags escape the temptation? Do you think he never would have come to Jacksonville? Do you think Jacksonville never would have been interested in him? Do you think that, what are we even talking about, a potential new head coaching candidate because Shad Khan's not making any moves this offseason? What did you make of the move by Bill Belichick to accept a job at UNC?
Well, earlier in the week, Michael Lombardi said on his podcast that, he took a shot. Tony Khan said something about, he's not a big fan of the analytics, and certainly,
Lombardi's not.
Well, no, Belichick. Lombardi's tight with Belichick.
Which is ironic because Belichick was the one who went for it on his own 30-yard line.
Right.
And was back to the hilt by the analytics people. Remember, this is back when they were playing against Peyton Manning.
Yes, in the playoffs, I think.
Was it the playoffs?
It might have been. Well, maybe, but I do remember. And they threw short of the sticks, and he didn't get the first.
Right. They tried to throw it to like Edelman. It was like 4th and 2.
Yeah. Right.
And he felt like, I have a better chance to win the game by Tom Brady getting a first down and keeping the ball away from Peyton Manning, which at that time, was going for it on their own side of the field.
No.
Certainly not at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah.
So continue
He
your
walks so
thought.
Dan Campbell can run.
So let me it's just easier. Let me just read it from Seth Wickersham's piece on Belichick today. And it was said, the Jacksonville was a potential landing spot, another potential landing spot, but was it the right one? On his podcast, Lombardi took a shot at Tony Khan, son of owner Shad Khan, who for years has run an analytics department, as emblematic of the problems with the current NFL. So from that standpoint, it seems like Bill Belichick had no interest in coming here, even though Tony Khan and Shad Khan are huge Belichick fans.
Look,
let me just say this. That's a good thing, because I don't think clearly Belichick wants total control. And
that's what it appears.
Right. And giving him total control would have been a mistake here.
Right. At 72, is he now? To me, it strikes me as more of he wet his finger, put it in the air, and didn't want to potentially go through another cycle where, wait a minute, I'm the greatest coach of all time. How can no one want to hire me? I don't know if anyone would have hired Bill Belichick. It takes a very unique set of circumstances. How long is he going to be there? He's 72 years old. How long is he going to be at North Carolina? And no NFL team's going to make Steve Belichick the coach in waiting.
Not at all.
Is that an official part of this deal with UNC? I know that's been rumored.
I haven't seen anything official on that, but certainly he's coming with them. So, I mean, from this standpoint, college teams are going to be run like NFL franchises within the next couple of years because of the NIL stuff and the basically the salary cap that they're going to have and schools paying the players and all that stuff. So there's going to be other schools that make this stringent. Schools are hiring GMs all the time. And it's a chance for him to kind of blaze his own trail that way and to essentially put UNC ahead of pretty much everybody else in terms of setting up their program like an NFL program. And, if you read some of the stories of his interview and stuff, he presented them with essentially a Bible of, this is what I want. This is how I want to do it. This is the control I want. This is the things we're going to all need to do. This is the amount of money you're going to need to do to commit.
How's that not already happening, though, around the country? You don't think Ohio State already has these kind of things in place?
Yeah, but now there's collectives, you know what I mean, that are raising the NIL, and the money's going to my understanding is the money is going to be coming through the universities in the future to be paying the athletes, and there's going to be a cap on the total amount that they can spend. So it's like NFL light, the way that model is essentially going to work.
I think to your other point, though, about him wanting total control,
right?
I think that's where he ran afoul. It was the personnel decisions that
correct. Not the coaching. He's still a phenomenal coach, but his drafting was not very good. He had his hits for sure, but his misses were spectacular, especially those offensive guys in the first round, the receivers. This franchise has had such a hard time drafting receivers. They look like the gold standard compared to the way the Patriots drafted receivers, especially in the first couple of rounds. I mean, it was just a mess. And you can't sustain, as we all know from watching this franchise, if you start chasing mistakes in the draft, especially in the first round, and the mistake A, you chase it with draft pick B, and that turns out to be a mistake as well. Now you're chasing a double mistake, and you can never, unless you just absolutely nail one draft, two drafts in a row, you can't really ever catch up to that. And that's where the Patriots were drafting offensive talent, and that's obviously what we've seen here over the last 15 years, 20 years.
Tony, I've seen at least some speculation that he didn't want to face the potential embarrassment of what if he comes back, he needs 15 wins, and he struggles to get there. I think that is like a complete nothing, because anybody of Bill Belichick's stature is not going to think, oh, I'm going to go in there and fail. They're just going to think I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fix everything. And, I need 15 wins, 2 years minimum or maximum. We'll have that wrapped up.
Yeah, I would assume that's the way he would be thinking, about those kind of things. But I can also understand why everyone in the public who feels about Bill Belichick however they feel are like, he's going to be embarrassed. That's why he's not going to do this anymore. It's like, that's not how he thinks. That's not how he's won at the level that he's won. his entire coaching career, right? Like that's not how you get to within 15 wins of the all-time record is what if I lose? Like that's not the thought that guys like that have. And I do think there's something interesting to I don't know what opportunities were really available to him in the NFL, right? Like, and I can understand him wanting to go coach somewhere else, not because he wants to get 15 more wins and be at the top of that. It's because he wants to coach in the NFL. Right? And that comes with it. I'll gladly take that and maybe go down as the most winning coach in NFL history. But whether or not he gets that, he's not going to be thought of any more or less for having done that or not gotten that 15 wins. He's going to be discussed in the argument for the greatest coach in NFL history. He's already earned that in his career. And I think guys that are on that kind of level, they don't think about those kind of things that way. I think people put those things as, well, that would be my goal if I was, it's like, you have no idea what your goal would be in that situation because we've never made the sacrifices and put in the work to have the opportunity to reach those kind of heights. I don't think that plays any kind of factor at all. I don't know how much interest teams that were going to have open jobs in the NFL really had.
Well, look at this.
Bill Belichick.
Last year, he interviews with the Falcons twice, and they go with Raheem Morris.
Yes.
Right. Like, in what logical part of your brain do you choose Raheem Morris as your head coach over Bill Belichick? Now, clearly, Belichick wanted total control there. And if you're the Falcons and you really don't want to give one guy total control, then, okay, you tell him no and you choose Raheem Morris. But that's what Belichick's would be facing heading into this hiring cycle.
And would anyone give that to him?
I would have thought somebody would have considered it. For sure. I honestly, if this franchise had two openings, I think he would have definitely been somebody that intrigued the Cons, and there would have been a possibility of him ending up here. Who, if you look at it logically, who better to turn my franchise around than the guy who took a worthless, stumbling, sporadic success New England Patriots franchise and turned it around? He's one of the greatest coaches.
Stumbled into arguably the greatest player in NFL history.
Without question.
That's what turned it around.
Without question.
The more. Go back to his days in Cleveland.
Well, I'll say this. Those first 3 Super Bowls,
they won with a lot of...
They were the defense. It was mostly the defense that won those games.
Are they winning those Super Bowls without Brady? Are they in those Super Bowls without Brady?
No, well, they win... The Rams Super Bowl, that defense was phenomenal against the greatest show on turf. And by the end of the game, the Rams got ahead. They put together that one last drive. And then obviously Brady comes down and gets them into position. And, famously, John Madden saying, they should play for overtime, and they turn it over to Brady. So, yeah, absolutely. Look, it was symbiotic for sure. But those were more – Brady wasn't really Brady in the first 3 or 4 years of his career. It took him a little
Well, he
bit.
also didn't have that level of weapons
Correct.
around him, and that was the style of play they chose to play. I mean, I think Brady was anyway, we don't need to
exactly. But like
debate that.
That would have been, I think, the way the Cons looked at it as the guy that built that franchise can rebuild this one. He's done it before, he can do it again.
Well, if that's the case, I think that's in large part why. I think Bill Belichick was afraid is not, I'm not saying he's a little scaredy cat. I'm saying he was concerned, whatever word you want to use, that nobody was going to give him that opportunity to give him that level of control.
Everybody's got an ego. He's got an ego. That would have stung, for sure.
Absolutely. So he gets to do this, and Steve Belichick maybe gets to just ride his coattails to another job opportunity. Good for him. Hey, not that we wouldn't necessarily do it for our offspring as well. All right, we'll come back. Let's hear a little bit from Doug Peterson speaking yesterday. A few thoughts. We'll get into yesterday's question of the day from D-Rock's perspective on the Jaguars' biggest needs on defense heading into the offseason as well. 641-1010 if you want to be part of the conversation. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Lickety Split, offering you premium solutions you can trust not only for your home's AC, but your plumbing and electrical, too. When your AC or your plumbing or electrical has issues, you need help now, like right now, like Lickety Split. So call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service there. For quality and care, call the hair. 4.8 average on Google reviews, locally owned and operated and servicing all of Northeast Florida. You can find them online at licketysplitfl.com.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Jaguars Today, Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab, and our Jacksonville Weekly Grilling Specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Start your week with a Hall of Fame breakfast.
Well, I'm hungry. How about you?
Join Dan Hicken, Jeff Prosser, and Jags Hall of Famer Tony Bazzelli for tons of football talk. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Monday mornings at 7:20 on 1010XL.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, contact Florida First Insurance Group on University Boulevard, an award-winning Florida Blue agency well known for providing superior service. Theo Mitchelson and his team at Florida First make the process easy and stress-free with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Contact Theo Mitchelson and the Florida First Insurance Group today and let your health be their priority. And a reminder for Florida Blue members, visit Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations in town offering primary care, walk-in services, and on-site pharmacy and mental health support. SANITAS Medical Center, Florida First Insurance Group, and Sanitas Medical Center, a winning team in Northeast Florida.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just cannot say enough good things about my friends at Pella Windows and Doors. They have the highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports still has Pella rated #1 in all 3 major window categories, so why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom, and be sure to ask about the latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows. That's Pella Windows and Doors on Phillips Highway, and tell them Mike sent you.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, because happy Honda days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss happy Honda days going on now at your local Honda dealer.
Matt Hayes here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. told the media that the first NFL jersey he had as a kid was of Aaron Rodgers. The Jaguars rookie sensation was asked what it'll be like to face the four-time MVP.
Super excited. I was just telling my coach Chad earlier about I don't know how I was going to react when I see him for the first time. But I'm super excited just to be able to go up against him and actually have this chance to play football against him, so it'll be great.
Did you ever imagine that you'd be in this position?
Nah, definitely not. Nah.
Brian Thomas Jr. on facing Aaron Rodgers on Sunday in Jacksonville. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
All right, we got offensive defense coordinator speaking today, D-Rock. About what, 12:15-ish? Is that the plan?
11:50.
11:50. That's D-Rock right out of here, right after the Breakfast Bowl today. Got to go do your day job. All right, yesterday's Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day. Here we go. We posed it to Mike DeRocco. Which of these positions will be the biggest area of need on defense for the Jaguars?
So I can't say offensive line. Is that
you
what you're telling
can,
me?
and I will mentally smack you, but only mentally because I like you a lot. Cornerback, defensive end, defensive tackle, safety.
Ooh.
One spot, biggest need.
Yeah, I would say corner, even though I also want to say safety. Because I think you have to find two.
And defensive tackle.
Well, I think you have to find two safeties because what you have is not great at this point. But corner, got to have somebody on the outside that can line up and complement Tyson Campbell. And Jarian Jones looks like he's going to be a player. I think they like him in the nickel. And I think he's a pretty good blitzer, which you kind of ask about your guys coming in to play nickel. Those guys got to be pretty solid blitzers, and he's pretty good against the run, pretty good tackler, not afraid of physicalness and or being physical close to the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, I mean, like all of those are major needs. Let's not like blow that over. They all have to be major needs.
Sure.
If I were drafting for this team, I'd be like, all of those are my first four picks. I circle all of that. That's my first four picks. It's the worst defense in the league.
Understand.
It's and then edge rusher, by the way, too. Got to have somebody else that can do it.
Right.
I mean, you have to fix. Yes, they have work to do on offense, significant in some spots. You need another receiver, all that other stuff. You can go ahead and deal with that, but you're set up a little bit better there than you are on defense. So, corner.
Well, I think you're set up a lot better at corner than you are at safety, personally.
Yes.
So, but you're staying with corner.
I'm staying with corner.
Okay. Because I feel like if I had to play Monteric Brown as I have more confidence in Monteric Brown in combination with Tyson Campbell and Jarian Jones as your three, then I am confident in Darnell Savage and Antonio Johnson right now because Cisco's not under contract once the season ends. And not that I'd be that confident in Cisco, quite frankly.
No, he got benched last week.
Correct. Will the Jags have any interest in bringing Andre Cisco back?
No.
I wouldn't imagine, right?
No.
I mean, they've gotten it done, extensions, with, including in season now with Walker Little, with the guys that they prioritized for that. And you do have to save money eventually at some different spots. And it'll be interesting to see what his market is, because he's young and he had a great profile coming out of college.
Right.
But hasn't always gotten great results. By the way, defensive tackle won the poll.
Oh, okay.
With nearly 46%. People said defensive tackle, got to beef up the interior of both lines. They felt corner got 33%. Safety only 16.5%, only 4.5% said defensive end. And I get it, because your starters are good, but that is a position you rotate and need some depth, and we love to rotate.
Yeah. Well, what I think, too, is you've drafted Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson. So and Mason Smith has really started to flash a little bit. So I'm just going to operate under the assumption that he's going to be a little bit better next year. Jordan Jefferson will be a little better next year. So while they need more guys there, I'm going to think they might be okay to put that as a secondary need.
And if you'd actually play Eric Armstead there.
Correct.
Which
and
is
who
where
knows?
he's better. And look, based on his contract, he's going to be here.
Oh, without question.
So, all right. Speaking of Armstead, that's who Dean wants to talk about. Dean on the south side at 641-1010 joins us here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Dean.
Good morning. Just wanted to get the panelist's perspective on Armstead, though. I mean, it sounds like he was kind of brought over with some agreements with Balky as far as where he was going to play. And then the latest insult is he's nominated as the Peyton Player of the Year. A year award as far as being contributing to in the off-field stuff. So what do you think about that, with him being nominated to that prestigious award?
Well, I mean, look, we were talking about this earlier off the air. Those nominations are like, people didn't like it because of the timing of what happened.
That's total typical 100% Jaguar timing. They had no control over when that release was mandated by the NFL for that day, that time.
And those names were already submitted. And so people were like, how can you nominate a guy who likes a post by Azeez Al-Shaair, which it was stupid to like that post. I'm sorry. Well, he knew, because you don't get up there unprompted without being asked about it and go on for over 2 minutes talking and try to explain your way out of the box you put yourself in. I don't care if you're friends with him. You don't show that support to him when he's saying that if you think that was bad, what do you see me now? Right? I mean, seriously, that was stupid of Eric Armstead to do. In terms of his off-the-field work, I'm sure it's fantastic. You know, I'm sure. I mean, to me, I'm not insulted that Eric Armstead is the Jaguars nominee here. One has nothing to do with the other.
Well, I know he was the 49ers nominee for the award last year. So it's not the first time he's been up for the Walter
Payton. A lot of charitable
Payton,
stuff.
Right, like Walter Payton Man of the Year. I can understand from a fan perspective, with all the chaos surrounding Armstead with the signing and not living up to the expectations of that, then all the Trevor stuff and like the things that have happened here in the last couple weeks, the timing of that being announced is as bad as it could be. And if all that stuff with Trevor wasn't happening and it got announced, the fans would be like, why? Why would this guy be our nominee for this award? Because they see Calais Campbell, right? Like, I don't know how much fans were paying attention to the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Jacksonville Jaguars until Calais Campbell won the award. And all the fans were like, that's our guy. Forever, that's our guy. And they'll talk about that award because it should be talked about.
Well, and because Calais was such a good player that year,
so
and he was
great.
full Duval,
right.
and he
like
was
defensive MVP. Like, he was in that conversation while all that other stuff was going on. Armstead isn't anywhere close to that. He's not the player that anyone expected they were signing when he got here, because he's not doing the thing we all expected he would be signed to do. Apparently everyone but the guy who signed him and the guy playing. Right? Like, they're not surprised that this is the role they have him in.
If ESPN came to Mike DeRocco and said, D-Rock, we'd like to have you continue to be part of our ongoing operations here, and you felt like you're in the position to go, I may be in demand here. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to do one podcast a week. But you're better as a writer. We really, or maybe you can do that in addition, but really you're focused. But no, this is what I want to do. Do you want to sign me? And they say yes. Are you blaming Mike DeRocco for that? I don't blame Eric Armstead.
I would never blame Mike DeRocco, no.
No, of course not. But you know what I mean? Like, if Eric Armstead told him, look, don't sign me unless you're going to play me at defensive end, then that's not on him. Then because that's what the story seems to be, that he expressed, okay, I'll sign there, but I don't want to play tackle. I don't want to be a full-time tackle, right? He's getting older. There's probably less wear and tear rushing out there on the edge than it is with all those bodies in the maelstrom of the interior of the defensive line.
And at the time they signed him, who was the only other really defensive? Travis Gibson? Had they signed Gibson by then?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they had.
So you're looking at that going, those three aren't enough. We need another guy. And here's a guy that, wants to be
we thought he was going to come in and be a defensive tackle.
Right. Well,
right?
yes.
Create pressure up the middle.
Yes.
Exactly.
But that's not where it was going. They needed to bring in someone else on the edge, and that happened to work out for them.
And,
work out in terms of, okay, this guy wants to play edge, can play edge a little bit. Yeah, we can do that.
Look, if you want to blame anybody, blame Balky for signing him. Blame Ryan Nielsen for going along with it. Because Ryan Nielsen said not that long ago in a press conference, the player made it, he made it pretty clear that this is what Eric Armstead wants to do. And if you knew that going in, I can't fault him for that, right? For expressing his desire. Okay, you know what I want, and I want all this money on top, and you're going to do this, right? This is what we're going to do. Now, personally, I think you should be willing to play whatever, but if this is, it's not like, it doesn't seem like they signed him and he goes, oh, by the way, I'm not playing what you signed me to do. Well, they signed him.
The money they gave him, too, was outrageously ridiculous.
Especially because of how they're using it. If you used him as a defensive tackle, it would still be a lot of money, but that's where he has played and that's where he has excelled. You're using him as a bench player, basically. He's a backup at defensive end, and he's making good starter money at defensive end. That makes no sense to me.
That was a huge mistake money-wise. And, I was told that his agent, when he was let go by the Niners and whatever, their initial expectation was a 1-year deal. They were expecting to sign like a 1-year deal for, reasonable money, $7, $8, $9 million type of thing. And then the Jags offer came in and they were like, let's go.
Do you think it was a case of Calvin Ridley fell through? We got this money. We better make some kind of an impact signing.
No.
You don't?
I don't see that. No, not like we got to make an impact signing, so let's sign this. No, I don't think so. I mean, look,
that's what it smelled like to me, because by that time it was Wednesday when he agreed to terms.
You didn't have to spend the money. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to spend that money.
No, you don't have to. But if you're Trent Baalke and you're trying to hang on to your job and put together the best so you can make that plausible, this is the best talented roster that we've ever had in franchise history kind of claim or push that, I felt like it was, because it wasn't like we have to spend the money, but we had the rug pulled out from under us on Ridley, and I almost felt like, I'll show you. I got another big move up my sleeve. Do you put it this way? If Ridley signs here, are they signing Armstead? Do they have that money to sign Armstead?
Probably not signing him for that money if he signs here. I mean, there's still a possibility. He's connection with Trent, so it's still a possibility they would have gone after him. And the reduced offer may still have been enough. I mean, I don't know. We can't obviously know, but don't forget, like, they signed Gabe Davis thinking they were getting the 50-catch Gabe Davis, stretch the field Gabe Davis. So receiver probably wasn't losing Ridley in their mind was hurting, but not as hurtful as it would have been if they had just put all their marbles in on him.
Right, but they did put $20 million worth of marbles on the table.
They did,
for
and
him.
Probably better off the way it's worked out.
Oh, without question. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky, right? And I mean, look, we were pushing. We wanted them to sign Ridley because you don't know what the draft holds, and you did need offensive line, and you're thinking we're going to use our resources these different ways, and it ended up. I mean, who doesn't love Brian Thomas Jr. being on this roster right now? And the likelihood is that wouldn't have been the case if you had spent that money on Calvin Ridley. So
I really like that kid. He's really starting to show some personality as the season's gone on.
He's getting more comfortable.
That's right.
Yes.
You prepare for me.
Yeah. Well, and like
I'm always open.
I'm always like the great receivers always have a bit of diva in them. They really do. I mean, Chase, Higgins, Jefferson, who am I missing? Debo, Ayuk. I mean, they all have a little bit of diva in them. That's just, what comes with it. And he's been so quiet. He's very soft-spoken, very polite. But you can tell he's an extremely confident kid. And I don't prepare any differently for a corner if he's the number 1 corner in the league or the 500th corner in the league. They got to prepare for me. So, you're starting to see a little bit of the diva come out, but in a respectful, kind of quiet, fun way. You know what I mean? Good diva, not bad diva.
And hopefully we'll never see him run straight out of bounds on a key third down when no one's around him.
That was more on Will Levis.
I understand
than
he was
it was
moving,
on Ridley.
But you look at Ridley. Ridley knew that he should have tried to turn that. Like, you could see the look on his face like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I don't think he could have gotten it. Because he was running full speed, too close to the side, but he might have gotten another yard.
You have to make an effort, though.
Well,
could you've gotten half that distance and then made it
the arm out maybe as you
viable? Who
Yeah.
knows? You just never know. You gotta fight for it, but it didn't go that way. All right, we'll come back. Tony will take us around the league. We'll hear a couple of thoughts from Doug Peterson as we get into hour 2. The question of the day that sits out there for you today is at the end of the season, what do you feel will be the biggest area of need on offense for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Center, guard, wide receiver, or something else? And if it is something else, hit us up with a reply and tell us what you think that position will be. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark here with you on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's the play that influenced the outcome.
Handoff inside his season. Now he goes and gets it. Nice play coming downhill.
Listen for the performance painting high performance play of the game on 1010XL. Performance painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What do I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
My Gate Rewards members, now through January 2nd, you'll get an entry for your chance to win free gas for a year each time you buy 5 eligible Monster Club products. Not a rewards member? Download the Gate app today. See store for details.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hair4me.com.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
For 79 years, each Gator Bowl game wrote a chapter in a story filled with excitement, celebrity, and a touch of drama. The game has seen iconic coaches like Bear Bryant, Vince Dooley, and of course, Bobby Bowden. Football stars like Larry Zonka, Archie and Peyton Manning, and Michael Vick. The 80th chapter features Duke and number 14 Ole Miss. Thursday, January 2nd in primetime on Bill Gay Grounds at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
A different path means a new hope for Miami football this season.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
Keep an eye on the Canes as they strike back on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Christmas is a great time to show loved ones you're thinking about them, and no better way than a beautiful piece of jewelry from Golden Diamonds Direct. They've been in business on the First Coast for 40 years. In fact, this is their 40th Christmas, putting something special under the tree for that special someone. Drop on by Golden Diamonds Direct on Racetrack Road in the Plantation Publix Plaza and see what an incredible selection of great gift ideas they have, making this giving season memorable. Golden Diamonds Direct on Racetrack Road in the Publix Plantation Plaza.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Kuhn Flowers invites you to join their Spread the Joy gift drive, supporting families here in Florida impacted by the recent hurricanes. They're accepting new and unwrapped toys, gifts, or monetary donations. Visit KuhnFlowers.com to find out more.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Gate Stores. On Wednesday, the Florida State program took another gut punch when Florida State legacy defensive end Marvin Jones Jr. announced he was entering the transfer portals. Former FSU football and Tampa Bay Buccaneer running back standout Warrick Dunn was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame during a ceremony held by the National Football Foundation in Las Vegas. He remarked on his induction.
You know, most people are like, why are you surprised? You Mr. Florida State, you're this and you're that. But, I mean, I played the game because I loved it.
Florida's trip to the Gasparilla Bowl has already paid off for head coach Billy Napier, according to USA Today Sports. After defeating Ole Miss assured his team's 6th win and bowl eligibility, the Gator head coach secured himself a bonus of $100,000. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:59, it's 52 degrees. Time at 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
All right, we will get to a few thoughts from Doug Peterson yesterday, particularly on the running game and kind of state it's in right now. But first, Tony Smith will take us to the four corners of the National Football League.
Now, gems around the NFL, brought to you you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Cleveland tight end David Njoku missed practice on Wednesday. He's being called day-to-day with a hamstring injury. Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is dealing with a leg contusion and an ankle injury. Head coach Jim Harbaugh said that the ankle injury is to the opposite one that he suffered the high ankle sprain earlier this year. Kansas City kicker Harrison Butker, who hasn't played since Week 10, is expected to return to practice this week for the Chiefs. The New York Giants are expected to start quarterback Tommy DeVito this week, with Drew Lock dealing with a heel injury. And the Buffalo Bills announced that they were adding 10 new limited partners for the first time in franchise history. NBA players Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady are two of the 10 new limited partners in the Bills.
All right. I always think of Vince Carter because when you drive down State Road 11, right, from Bunnell to DeLand, which is also a kind of a back way to go to Lakeland, where my son goes to school. Got that Vince Carter, like, nature preserve or something along that stretch of road that he donated to.
Yeah.
I went to one race in Daytona. It was one of the Coke Zero 400s, and got this premium package of tickets, right? Literally, the only person in the indoor, what do you call that? The pagoda or whatever, the indoor the tower.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The only other person inside, and they've got like a spread of crazy food like you wouldn't believe. Like, I mean, not just like, little hot dogs and, little, what do you call those?
Pigs in a blanket?
Pigs in a blanket, right? I mean, it's like cracked crab stuff. The only other person in there is Vince Carter. And I'm like, go talk to Vince Carter over here. Because, he went to Mainland High School.
Yes, he did.
Down there. Anyway, let's get to a little Doug Peterson here.
Dougie P.
We'll start with this. Did the win versus Tennessee give the team a little extra energy this week?
Yeah, I think just, focus on this week. Just, it was good to get the guys back this morning and feel the energy from a win. It doesn't matter how it looks or how you get it. The fact that you got one, it's been a while, sometimes you don't know how to react, but it felt good. The guys were jazzed, and it's something that we can build on, and still got to correct the mistakes, look at that and focus on those and improve this week. But it does give you a little bit of juice going into the week.
How important is it, Mike, particularly for like the rookies on this team, right? Like last year's rookie class, they won 9 games, right? So they failed to make the playoffs, but it was a winning record. It was, you were an average NFL team, basically. This year, you're among the worst. So for a guy like Jarian Jones, who had a big game, for a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., who's not used to losing like this, how much value is there just to give these guys okay, here's the payoff for all the hard work that you're putting in?
Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure. But I think there's also the aspect of making sure, though, Jarian Jones has that, man, I hate losing mentality. He just does. And Brian Thomas is the same way. And a lot of these guys, like Mason Smith, guys that came from programs that won a lot. Jarian Jones should have probably been playing for a national title last year. Let's be honest. And those guys, there needs to be more of that mentality of, I can't stand losing. It is part of my soul to hate losing with every fiber of my being. And I think when you are a franchise that loses a ton, that kind of gets beaten out of you after a while with some guys. And I think there needs to be more guys like Brian and Jarian that introduce that into the locker room so that can start to become the atmosphere again, to where it's inconceivable that we're going to lose this week, guys, and we are damn sure going to make sure we don't lose again if it happens. That I think needs to be something that's infused into the locker room a little bit more. So when they get a little taste of a win right now, it's like, okay, this is what we did last week. This is how it happened. Thank God, from their standpoint, they were playing Will Levis, and they're, able to benefit from that. But that's sort of the way the league is anyway. But I think it's a good thing for them to kind of start getting that attitude thrown in here. And sometimes it takes rookies to kind of bust that up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a team, too, D-Rock, that they've been in enough of those one-score game situations this year where it has been a team that they can get into a habit of when's the floor going to fall out from underneath us.
No question.
Right? Like, and you wouldn't be surprised if at this point in this kind of season, that's what they're looking around waiting on. All right, what's going to go wrong this time for us that we're going to lose? And instead, they said, we're going to make whatever plays we have to make to find a way to win. Right, and I think there is something to that. When we talk about good versus bad culture in the NFL, it's winning or losing. That's good or bad culture, right. Is winning or losing. And good culture in the NFL is when you get in these situations, you're not looking for everything to fall away from you. You're looking for, this is what I can grab onto, and good luck taking it from me. And at least on Sunday against the Titans, they were able to do that. I think that is important for the young players to know what that feels like and looks like, because they haven't been exposed to that before this game basically at all. They tried to give away that Colts game. The only other close game they won.
Yes, they did.
You know, they had that big lead late, and then it just went boom, boom, boom. They couldn't do anything to stop the Colts. Thank goodness Jaria made a play in that one too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's been huge in the one-score wins that the Jags have had this season.
And, like, that's – they don't have enough playmakers. They don't on both sides of the ball. And Jarian Jones looked like he's going to be a play. I mean, that pass rush and the sack, I mean, that was phenomenal. The ability to bend the way he did and get around the tackle, I mean, that was like some next level bend pass rush stuff. I mean, the guys were raving about that.
Yeah.
And then knocking balls. I mean, like the guys he just has that knack for making some plays. You need those guys around too. Seeing it from Brian Thomas, seeing it from Jarian Jones. Monteric Brown has shown a little bit of that with some PBUs over the rest of, the course of this season. Andre Sisco, not so much. Didn't he have at least one interception in his hands at the end of that game? Yeah. Great, they still won the game, but you want to start seeing guys make plays. And those two guys in particular seem to be guys that are going to develop into the guys they can rely on in those close games to make plays.
When the opportunity is there for a play to be made, they seem to be making the play. Cisco, for whatever reason, it's been all year, just hadn't been able to come down with it, despite there being the reputation that he would be a guy you rely on. In those kind of moments, hasn't been reliable there this year. Doug Peterson yesterday, we've been talking about it all season long. We talked about it early in the show today. The run game for this Jacksonville Jaguars team, we all have our theories on why it hadn't been great to this point in the year, but Coach Peterson was asked why the run game hasn't been working for the team.
Look at some of the defensive lines we've played. There's some just take a look at last week, with those two big D tackles. It's going to be the same this week. Sometimes it's just tough sledding. I think the thing that we've got to do a better job is just be more consistent in just sticking with it. I think that's been something over the years. When the run doesn't work early, you kind of tend to pull back and try to find something else to do. But I think you just got to continue to stick with it.
Well, we'll see. D-Rock, is it as simple as that? Stick with it. What do you make of the season that Travis Etienne's having?
Yeah, disappointing without question. He's been banged up for sure. The run game is never just one reason why it's not succeeding. I mean, and they've been out of some games too where you really can't rely on the run. And then Tank's been banged up some too. The offensive line's been beat up a little bit. I just think it's an overall failure is probably too strong of the word, because they were running the ball pretty well early in the season, but everybody was healthy then. Look, this offense has been slow starting, and that plays a large part of it. We've seen this offense just flounder around the first half, and they've been not very good on first down. First down run is 1 yard. Now you're 2nd and 9. There's an incompletion. Now you're 3rd and 9. You can't survive on that. So it's been a disappointing season for them run game wise for sure. With Etienne, they picked up the 5th-year option for him, so he's back next year without question. But it's a reasonable $6 million salary.
Do you think this is a kind of under the radar need for this team to add another guy, or can you afford to maybe spend a late pick, something like that, because you will have the top 2 guys back next year, and you usually don't carry more than 3 on game day. And, Keelan Robinson could figure in the mix more next year as well.
And that's what you don't know, what their plans are for him, whether it's the staff or another staff. But it wouldn't, look, you can find backs late in the draft. You can find undrafted backs. So I wouldn't put it as a major need to address in the first half of the draft, but I do think it's something that they probably should take a look at if there's a guy there that intrigues you and, maybe like a big-time speed back at this point.
Bigsby had 18 carries in the game compared to only 4 for Etienne. Etienne was, involved in the passing game. He caught 4 for 50.
Right.
All right. But he did all that in the first half.
Right. And is pretty good as a pass protector.
But in terms of rushing workload, is that what you think is the norm now going forward?
No. I think against that team, because Tank's a little bit more of a physical between the tackles guy. Not that Travis can't run at that level. He's a pretty big guy. But I think his strength is outside in space, and that's kind of, I expected Tank to carry it more. I just didn't think it would be that much of a disparity.
All right, let's take a time out here. That means we'll come back with the Breakfast Bowl, our favorite moment of the week, and then D-Rock will be giving us some final thoughts, and we'll be off to talk to both Press Taylor and Ryan Nielsen, get to the bottom of things heading into Week 15 for your Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Make Friday feel like the weekend.
We're wasting time.
That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday.
Let's do it. Come on.
We'll get you ready for the games. Brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle.
It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber Wiggle, Garber Wiggle, 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 Garber Wiggle.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744. Hey, and if you mention Mia or Helmets and Heels, you'll qualify for free base molding. Call today or visit closetsbydesign.com.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Jaguars Today, Thursday, is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island is excited to announce an all-new happy hour, 7 days a week. You heard right. Every day from 3 until 6 p.m. and again from 9 until close. Barley and Pie has deals you can't resist. 2-for-1 clay lights, 2-for-1 house wines, and much more. Experience the all-new happy hour at Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island.
Human trafficking destroys lives. You could do something to create hope this season. Make an end-of-the-year donation to Rethreaded. Your gift helps provide employment and support services for local survivors of human trafficking. Visit rethreaded.com and click on the tab to donate.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the Waterboy at waterboyjack.com.
Googie Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
My name's Jim. I'm 53 years old. There should be options in life, like ways to lose weight. Medications now feel like the only option. I mean, it sounds like a guarantee. I do have friends who have lost weight with them. I tried holding off. I did other diets, but I was miserable. I'd rather be fat and happy. The problem was I wasn't happy fat. I was about to start the meds, but then I heard of Awaken 180's GLP-1 program. Turned out it does the same thing as the meds without injecting myself for life. It absolutely worked. I dropped 45 pounds. I'm now in maintenance, and I feel better than my friends who are still on the meds. Listen, I barely know what GLP-1 is. What I do know is Awaken 180 worked for me, and I was far from miserable doing it.
Thanks, Jim. You all know our success with Awaken 180, and now with Awaken 180's GLP-1 balance, you address the root causes of weight issues. Do it naturally, then keep it off. Awaken180weightloss.com. Hey, I'm Ben Kay, owner of Gotham City Limit, your local comic shop, here to let you know we're doing 20% off the entire store, now through Christmas. So unleash your gift-giving spirit, let your passion transmit. Do what we do and take it to the limit. Visit GothamCityLimit.com for more information.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and beautiful people all across the world. Let's get ready for the Breakfast Bowl Challenge!
Mike Del Rocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
All right. We put together all our cheat sheets. Time to throw them out the window and just go drafting here for the Breakfast Bowl. Tony, catch us up. How did Week 14 go down?
Well, you and I had our personal highs for the season last week. You took down the week with 118.05. I was second with 113.15, thanks in large part to Sam Darnold. It was Dylan third with 68.55, and D-Rock buying breakfast for us this morning with 58.
You're welcome, Jags fans.
Let's know
you
once
are
again,
welcome.
who did you draft, D-Rock?
Every time I've taken somebody that's playing against the Jags, they've stunk, and both other times, they could not take advantage of it, and this time they finally did. So you're welcome, Jags fans.
Well, the ones who appreciated the win, for the ones who are more upset about the draft position, you're an evildoer now.
They know where I am every Thursday. Bring it on.
Oh, come on. Show up. 9117 Hogan Road. Here we go. All right, D-Rock's got the first pick then. Dylan will have the second selection. Tony goes third. I go fourth, drafting a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and a flex that is point per reception scoring. That flex cannot be a super flex, no quarterback there. Of course, the trick to the Breakfast Bowl is once you take a player, it's the only time you can use them all year long. So it'd be good to take, I don't know, Tony, like Josh Allen during a record-setting week.
Wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Wouldn't have been a bad idea. You and I had already used him, so he wasn't available to us. But we'll see how it goes down. Once the player's taken today, nobody else can have that player. D-Rock, you had the first pick.
So I had 2 quarterbacks that I was looking at last week, and I said to myself, save Josh Allen for the following week when the Bills are playing the Lions because they're going to have to score a crap load to keep up. And I thought, what a sound
strategy
yes. That really was.
Philosophy would have worked.
And I took someone else, the QB of the Bucs.
Didn't work out as well.
And it didn't work out as well. But I'm taking Mr. Allen today.
What would he have? Like 50? How many did he score in our system last week?
60, didn't he?
51, was it 60?
58.
I got 58 in one of my leagues with him, but that league gives you like a tenth of a point for rushing attempts.
55.3.
All right, there you go. We would have 55 points. But you got Josh Allen this week. I'm sure he'll back it up with another 55-point outing.
In the third play.
All right, Dylan Denmark. Coach Dylan Denmark.
Sam Darnold.
Chasing my points.
Darnold. It is. All right, Darnold was on my list, and now he's off. Tony.
I will go Rico Dowdle.
I can always count on Tony to make a smart pick. Okay? Rico Dowdle, easily top target of opportunity this week going against Carolina, and I think everybody had a shot at him. All right, let's see how it goes here. I'm going to go with Mark Andrews at tight end, and then, oh, goodness.
Decisions.
It really is that kind of situation I find myself in. I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill.
Big week last week.
At wide receiver, yep. And it's a good matchup for him. Great matchup for him, actually. And D-Rock was the only other one who could use him. Tony, who would you like next?
I will go DJ Moore.
Go DJ.
Had him on the short list as well.
That's my DJ. You know that song, Mike?
Absolutely, man. Right. I like your version the best.
I'll give you a soundtrack later. Give me running back Joe Mixon for favor.
Ooh, Mixon going up against Tennessee, baby. Those defensive tackles.
Yep.
Gotta love it. All right, D-Rock, Josh Allen.
Jerry Jeudy.
Hottest receiver in football.
I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard.
You only get points if you pronounce his name right, though. So you'll get nothing for Chuba Hubbard this week.
I like Chuba Hubbard because it rhymes.
Chuba Hubba?
Chuba Hubbard.
What about Hubba Bubba?
It does rhyme.
But that's not his name.
No. You know what Hubba Bubba's claim to fame was? The gum? Like, it didn't stick to stuff.
You learn stuff every time
it's
you
weird
listen
stuff.
to Jaguars
It's
Today.
just weird little useless stuff in the back of my mind. All right, so Chuba Hubbard and Jerry Jeudy gone. Dylan Denmark.
By the way, the Texans play the Dolphins Sunday.
That's what I meant.
Oh.
I don't know why I thought they played
I like Sam Laporta, tight end.
Laporta. Okay. Surprised that not many people haven't used him.
No.
All right. Tony Smith.
Back to me. I will go David Montgomery.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard and Juwan Jennings.
Big last time against them. I'm not going to say it yet. I have a question. I know. That's why I'm not going to say anything because it is my pick. I will go.
Oh, you just didn't want to accidentally say a name?
Yeah, I didn't want to say a name and it become whatever.
Yeah.
But
a whole big thing.
I will go
edge of our seat action right here in the Breakfast Bowl?
Jordan Love.
Okay. Denmark.
Give me Adam Thielen, wide receiver.
I like it.
He's been dead a lot.
He's been good.
And you got that Cowboy D.
D-Rock tight end and a flex.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jake Ferguson. And drop me some T. Higgins.
Hopefully it gets you what he did for me last week.
All right, pockets. Pickles.
Chase Brown, running back. Bengals and my flex.
Yep. I think you're the last one to use him.
Yeah.
You're
Tony, tight end.
Tucker Kraft.
Kraft singles.
Okay, and I'm hooking it up. Give me Brock Purdy. We'll see how that goes. All right, Josh Allen, Chuba Hubbard, Jerry Jeudy, Jake Ferguson, T. Higgins for Mike DeRocco. Dylan Denmark, Sam Darnold, Joe Mixon, Adam Thielen, Sam Laporta, and Chase Brown. Tony goes Jordan Love, Rico Dowdle, DJ Moore, Tucker Kraft, and David Montgomery. He's also hooking it up there with the tight end quarterback combo. Yeah. I'm going Brock Purdy, Tony Pollard, Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, and Jawan Jennings. And we are locked in on the Breakfast Bowl. Right now, by the way, I thought I was wrong. Yesterday, we gave away a hat. It was a small medium. Today's is a medium large.
Oh, nice.
So it's a flex fit, Prowler throwback Jaguar hat. Jags wearing the Prowlers this weekend. And if you want it, why don't you be the fourth caller for Dylan right now? It's 641-1010, and he'll hook you up with that. D-Rock, your parting thoughts here as the Jaguars get ready to take on the New York Jets this weekend. How do you feel about the matchup?
I think Aaron Rodgers is done. I think he's washed up. I think he has less mobility than me. And I think the Jags get to him a bunch of times this week. Josh Allen, multiple sacks. I think they win the game this week for no reason, no logical reason. But I think they're going to play well at home.
Here's the logical reason. The Jets stink.
The Jets do stink, but their defense is really good.
Sometimes. You can run on them. And that's been the case at least this year. Right. So we'll see.
So I think they win. I go on a little mini run here, 2 in a row.
2 in a row and crashing their draft position now, cratering. By the way, Field Yates had him going with the corner out of Michigan, I think, in his
yeah, he just announced that he's going into the draft.
He did. And he's got 2 pick sixes this year, but I think he's also missed several games. So, anyway, we got plenty of time to figure out what the Jags are going to do in the draft. Will Johnson, that's the guy. Big guy, too. He's like 6'2", right? Mm-hmm. Something like that. All right, D-Rock.
Big corners.
Go. What's your pressing question today for, no pun intended, Press Taylor or Ryan Nielsen? What's the biggest question on your mind today?
We actually didn't get an answer. We didn't ask. So bad on us about why Andre Sisco was sat down. I'm just interested to find out what the official reason was for. That's my big question for Ryan Nielsen. And for Press Taylor, I mean,
can we start out earlier throwing the ball to Brian Thomas?
I mean, like it's the same stuff every week. It's the same issues every week. I'm at a loss to ask questions about how the offense can get started again, in the first half. So just how much more involved does Brian Thomas and Evan Ingram need to be? Does that need to be the focal point of the entire offensive game plan, those two guys?
All right. Figure it out. I'm going to guess the answer is no.
It should be.
Well, you want to mix in something in the running game.
Well, yeah, but I'm not saying like those, the 50 offensive plays, they get 25 touches each, but those guys should have 10 or more targets each week.
I said it before the game this week. I said I want to see 60 targets for Brian Thomas over the last 5 games. Didn't look like they're going to get it anywhere close, but they ended up with 12, which is exactly what you need. Right. And he'll
set the rookie receiving record this week.
Let's
needs
go.
15 yards.
Let's go.
15, 16.
Don't jinx things, D-Rock. Don't be that guy.
I'm not jinxing anything.
Could.
What?
Might possibly. Why don't you go talk to the Jaguars offensive and defensive coordinators?
I thought about taking Aaron Rodgers, but I didn't.
Yeah, you were too fixated on Josh Allen. You knew from the moment you walked in the building it was going to be Josh Allen today. All right.
That's the only name I wrote down.
Go check out Mike DeRocco on the X or Twitter platform at ESPN DeRocco. Go read his work regularly at ESPN.com and catch him every Thursday right here on Jaguars Today. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll come back and take a look at today's Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? You could be like D-Rock. You can go to a fast food establishment, spend a bunch of money, or you can do things economically. If you're in the market for a little bit of breakfast for you, maybe for the office, they've got delicious breakfast items that Dandy puts out along with the Anytime Deli label. Just go to an area gate station on your way to work or anytime you're hungry for breakfast and check out the menu that includes buttermilk biscuits and soft flaky croissants. My favorite is their French toast. They even have light tasty maple waffles, sizzling country sausage, black forest ham, thick sliced bacon, peppered fried eggs, creamy Wisconsin cheddar cheese, all the many combos, and that's just the beginning of that breakfast menu. And by the way, breakfast is good any time of day. Not only breakfast, full line of sandwiches and subs, protein packs, veggie trays, fruit cups, you name it. Dandy's got a little something for everybody, no matter what you're hungry for. Go with a local company like Dandy. When you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and makers of Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Friday, April 11th, the St. Augustine Amphitheater. Performing songs from their latest album, Weather Vanes. Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. On sale Friday, December 13th at 10 a.m. at theamp.com.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
Jingle bells, septic's gone astray. Oh, don't let your holiday stink in the worst kind of way. Call Duck Rooter and we'll save your sleigh and your day.
904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
A quality replacement window made with Fibrex material, which is 2 times stronger than vinyl, delivered through a stress-free process. Welcome to Renewal by Anderson. Get the peace of mind knowing Renewal by Anderson handles everything from start to finish. With one call, you'll enjoy working with the best people, exclusive products, and superior process. It's the people, it's the process, it's the product. For a limited time, buy one, get one 40% off all windows and doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
We heard you loud and clear, Jags fans, and we're taking it back to the 90s again. The Prowler throwback jerseys return to the field Sunday, December 15th, when your Jaguars take on the New York Jets. Be at the bank to see them in action while joining us for our Inspire Change game. To lock in your seats, head to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk. Real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics. 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Zahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Check it out, the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands.
Any?
Any.
Even if it's 4 years old?
Yeah.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. New and existing customers can trade in any phone from one of our top brands in any condition for the new iPhone 16 Pro with unlimited Ultimate. Trade-in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars will wear their Prowler throwback uniforms on Sunday against the New York Jets, commemorating the 30th season of the franchise. Tight end Evan Ingram on the throwbacks.
Those are beautiful, honestly. Been having this one circled for a while to get back in those, and we won last time we were in them too, so hopefully we keep that going.
Going to the game on Sunday? Save your gas and avoid the parking hassles of game day by taking the JTA Game Day Express. Let them do the driving to the Jags-Jets game. Passes start at just $10 on the MyJTA app. More information at jtafla.com. With your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update, I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, D-Rock out the door as it's time to get into today's question of the day, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. And let's do it through today's 10-10 take.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, if it seemed like I was distracted, it's only because I was.
Okay. Yep.
Because for whatever reason, this laptop will not go to Twitter anymore. It's like the only website. You go there and it just blinks. So I got to do it on my phone here. Tony, oh, what a tough life I have. So we ask you today, which of these positions will be the biggest area of need on offense for the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into the offseason? Is it center, guard, wide receiver, or you want to go off the board and tell us what you think it is? That is fine as well. Dylan. Denmark.
Sorry, what now?
Fire up today's 10-10.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I just missed it. I told you.
You were scrambling and then
distracted. I told you I was distracted. Fire it up again, man.
All right.
I really like it.
Times two.
Here we go. Second time.
10-10.
There we go.
10-10 take.
Now,
there
Mike
it is.
Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
See, double checked. We had to double check that you played it. And now we're all squared away.
Excel seems happy.
This is one I will agree with the kids. Hey, look, first of all, biggest need doesn't mean you have to spend your first pick. You have to spend the most money on it, whatever. It's just a case of where's the most glaring hole, right? And in relation to that, Tony, when we were talking about it with D-Rock yesterday's question, I think it's safety. And someone's like, well, you can't take a safety top 12. It's not a good value. I didn't say you have to take one in the top 12. But now, if Sean Taylor Part 2 was in this draft, you could take a safety top 12. It depends on the player. But yes, I'm not saying that I expect the Jags to utilize a top 10 pick on a safety. I think, there are harder to fill positions. That doesn't mean those positions, to me, present the biggest need, right? And I do agree with the consensus today that guard, you've got to find a starter at right guard, right? And I don't know if that's Cooper Hodges. I can't trust a guy who's not been able to stay healthy for the first 2 years of his career. Doesn't mean I won't let him be in the mix, but the right guy presents himself to me, even in the top 10, Tony. If it's, Will Campbell out of LSU, and you envision him as a long-term interior offensive lineman, and that seems to be, what the film shows you he's capable of doing. I'm not opposed to that if you get an elite player. Whoever you take in the top 10 should be an elite player. Yeah. And, it doesn't always match up with your needs. But, center is – so I want to see the center of the future acquired. Maybe that's a third-round pick. Maybe it's a fourth-round pick, whatever the case may be. The Jags have had some success. Meester was a second-round pick. Linder was the third-round pick. Go find your next guy. Doesn't have to start right away. Maybe he beats out Mitch Morse, and that's fine too. But you do have Mitch Morse under contract for another year. I feel better about that spot than I do the right guard spot. I do think wide receiver is a little bit under the radar. And, again, the right playmaker, not opposed to going early in the draft on this. That doesn't make it the biggest need to me, but you've got to upgrade from what we saw from Gabe Davis this year, which was nothing positive, right? And how long is Kirk going to be around? And, is Parker Washington the one-for-one replacement for him? We love Brian Thomas Jr. That doesn't mean that there's enough. They paid Tyson Campbell $74 million. That doesn't mean corner isn't high on your list because you need more than one good one. The rest of it, 7.3% went other direction. I think a lot of people – their response was offensive coordinator. That's fine. I'm talking about on-the-field position player, and pretty evident from the context clues.
Yeah, I would agree with the poll this morning as well. Go with guard. But, in light of the conversation, you pointing out someone like you can't take a safety in the top 12. Well, show me the guard prospect in this draft that's being talked about that way. I'm not saying that there aren't a couple of prospects where people are saying they might be able to play guard, right, when they get into the NFL. I've heard a little bit of that with Campbell. Obviously, they're at LSU. Maybe he's better at guard in the NFL. Banks, I've heard a little bit of that too. The Texas offensive tackle, but he's listed as a tackle at this point in the draft process. I don't know what's that's going to look like as they go through the evaluation. I don't know how many of the guys that are considered tackle prospects right now get reshuffled into more of a guard mix. But if you're talking about this isn't a draft class with a bunch of interior offensive linemen that are being talked about in the first round really at all.
Sure.
Right? Like, these are positions where you might be able to find some real value in the second, third, fourth round, like that kind of thing. But for the people that are like, you can't take a safety, they're in the top 12. Well, there aren't any interior offensive linemen in this year's draft that are being talked about that way either, right? Because they're not a position that are typically talked about that way at all. So I do think guard would be my answer for our poll question today. And look, in free agency, there's nothing available that's going to get you going, at these kind of positions. Like, if they're going to have a big impact at those spots, it's going to be in the draft. And I don't think it needs to be in the first round. I think they're in a position in the first round where the positions of value in the NFL, those being corner and edge rush and these kinds of things, like, they're going to be able to take the best player available at one of those spots, and it's going to help their roster tremendously, right? And that's where they should be going. We shouldn't be going into a draft saying they need help on the interior offensive line, so it has to be in the first round.
Right, and that's not what we're saying at all.
But there's going to be a big group of the fan base that will. And, we haven't talked about the draft basically at all to this point, so consider this the trying to get ahead of it a little bit before we get into the deep part of this discussion as we go through the next 3 months, getting ready for this upcoming draft. It doesn't have to be a guard for them to address that position in this offseason, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it in free agency, not based on the names I've seen that are going to be available.
Right, and, so I think Cooper Hodges is in the mix, but to what degree?
Yeah.
Right, and that's the shame of it. Look, he may have been the starter this year right from the jump had he been able to play his rookie season.
Sure.
And I'm not saying it's his fault that he's gotten hurt a couple years in a row, but how can you count on that, to be available to you? And what do you think that level of play? You're guessing at what his level of play is going to be. So to me, he's got to fight for his roster spot and show that he can be kind of the next man up, because chances are if you do invest a draft pick on an interior offensive lineman, it's going to be a more significant one than the one you sunk into Cooper Hodges. And at least initially, that, especially if it's a new regime. I mean, that's the other thing, right? If it's a new front office coaching staff or some combination of that, they're going to want to focus on their guys, that we brought in. We brought these guys in specifically because we didn't think the guys he already had were good enough at that point in time. So somebody said left tackle. You can feel like you need to upgrade Walker Little, but they're not going to go get a starting caliber left tackle. It's not going to happen. They've cast their lot with Walker Little, and that's the direction it's going to go. They didn't sign Walker Little to that contract then to try to move him inside the guard. We've tried that. He's better at left tackle than anything else, which is a valuable position, and you're paying him, as of right now, is the 40th highest paid offensive lineman in the league, which is not crazy. But, I think when you talk about offensive needs, left tackle's way down the list for me.
I would totally agree. And as we were just discussing, Will Campbell, the LSU offensive tackle, is considered one of the best two prospects in this draft in the process, and they're saying he may be better at guard.
Right, but one of the best two offensive line prospects.
Right, it's not clear that this is a banner year for these kind of positions that I know the fans are all over. They need to improve this, and this. Well, this may not be the draft to get really all that much stronger at some of these positions, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For the football team. It's just the way that it's played out this year. It's, I'm glad that they made the trade they did and we're still able to get Brian Thomas Jr. It does feel like this is, compared to last year's draft, it's weak, right? It's just a weak draft in comparison to what was available in the draft last year. Now, they seem to have found a gem in Brian Thomas Jr., and good for him. And we'll see what they're able to do with that extra pick. They're in the third round, but
third and fourth.
Yeah, we'll see what that looks like. Looking ahead to that right now, I'm just like, okay. Right? Like, I'm not saying that there won't be guys that'll be valuable in those spots.
There's always going to be guys that you can use that can make your team better. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
And I'm glad they come out with BTJ. That's fine. And the two picks.
I love that they came out.
That's good work.
Well, and Keelan Robinson, if he ever turns into anything, because he was part of that compensation as well. For that move down. We'll see. Hey, look, a lot's going to depend on where they land, obviously.
For sure.
Ultimately, right? Because I've heard, I don't know who people are looking at when they make this statement, but you hear the draftniks say, if you're not like a top 6, you're not going to get really an elite player.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're including the quarterbacks in that, right? Because right now, like ESPN has the Jags picking 8th. Strength of schedule will factor into all this. That's where they are right now on the waiver order, I think. But in terms of strength of schedule, they're projected a little bit higher, depending on how the rest of the season plays out. And you got to figure at least 2 quarterbacks are going early in this draft.
Yeah.
And so then, if you agree with those rankings and assessments, and you got Travis Hunter, you got the Michigan corner, you got a couple of offensive linemen, maybe a defensive tackle and a defensive end. And if you're outside that range of 8 or 9, which is quite possible with the schedule they have down the stretch, what are you going to do at that point in time? Because it doesn't seem like there's going to be a big market for teams moving up in the latter portion of the first round, if the talent level is really as flat as a lot of the pundits seem to think it is.
Bring safety back into it with Malachi Starks. Yeah.
Look, again, just because we designate something in our opinion as the biggest need doesn't mean you have to fill that at the first opportunity. There's a whole combination of factors that go into it. All right, that's going to do it for us today. XL Primetime is coming up next because it's Thursday after all, and Dylan reminded me that it's Thursday a little bit earlier. So tomorrow, Keys to Victory. People laughed at it, scoffed at it last week. Are you kidding me? Jaguars picked up the 3rd win. Tommy Mack picked up the full boat of points last week, by the way. whatever that was worth, 12, I think.
12, yeah.
He had the Jags on the top line. So Tom McManus in with us tomorrow on a Keys to Victory Friday. That'll do it for us today. Thanks to Mike DeRocco for spending some time with us. Stick around for XL Primetime for Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you, as always, listening.